beautifuls. Shh. It's nice to see you all out there tonight. Hello, hello, hello. I'm trying to be quiet because I can hear people here. I think I'm in the cheapest hotel, like right on the Virginia, North Carolina border. I gotta be honest with you, so I'm trying to keep it down because if I can hear other people, I know they can hear me. It's safe. So anyways, I hope everybody is doing well. But I'm gonna go get a, like I've been hearing just, I didn't hear it at first, now I can hear it. I can hear the TV, I can hear somebody coughing, and I'm like, oh crap, hopefully you guys can see me. I don't even know if you guys can see me. Let me know if you can see me, because there's no internet out here. If it wasn't for my hotspot, I wouldn't be able to get on the internet. I had to power up the hotspot. Like I had to power it up. I went to look for internet and it was blank. I don't think in the history, we've had crappy internet, but I don't think in the history of Bullhorn Betty being on, I mean, I've always gotten a car or something. It was blank. I feel like I'm in backwoods, but barely here. I know, I'm sorry. I'm trying to, let me see if I can do that. I could try to hook up a mic. It's probably too late now since the live already started, but I'm trying to be quiet because I can hear people. And if I figured if I can hear them, then they'll be able to hear me. So you guys are going to have to crank up the volume. We're having low volume Betty tonight. I know it's hard to believe there's a low volume Betty, but this is the low volume Betty. I do have a low volume. Hey Val, it's nice to see you. Outer Banks, Cheyenne, Melanie, it's nice to see you. I got to meet Melanie. She's such a doll. I love it. It's so nice to see you. Priscilla, Melody, K-Star, Dirty Diana. It's nice to see you. Yeah, well, we found out, listen, actually talking about this is why I wanted to go live with you guys, because I found out some information and why it is so incredibly important to do the timeline runs. We're going to talk about it all, and I'm breaking it with you guys first, not TikTok, even because I feel like I shortchanged you guys on YouTube, but it wasn't my fault. I had no internet. Even right now, I'm like dying for internet. I don't even, it's crazy. So I was having problems getting stuff uploaded. I was having problems getting stuff downloaded. That was my biggest thing. I had 2 different cameras. I had 2 different phones. I'm trying to download all of it, plus my body camera. And so I'm trying to download it. It took me like 3 hours to download all of the stuff, and it shouldn't have taken that long, and it did. So there is that. I could probably make videos with it now. Oh yeah. And Jules, the dog handler, I was out with Jules today. She brought Ara. She brought Ara out, and so I ended up taking her and Ara out to lunch. She was a cheap date. I don't know why she was so cheap on me. I think she got chili and like a pretzel. But that was very interesting, and I took her out. We'll get into all of that. If you guys can hear me and see me, I didn't bring my tripod thing, so which really, did I bring a tripod? I don't think I brought a tripod. Let me just see if I brought a tripod, because it's going to start hurting my hands. Maybe I'll have to go up to the car and get one, but I don't know. I think I kind of want to just stay in. I think I just want to stay in. I don't know where I'm at. I won't lie. Sometimes some of the places I stay, it does scare me a little bit. Like, yeah, the only reason I'm staying in a hotel is because my mom, she didn't want me staying in the car. Sometimes you just do what you got. If I'm only going to be sleeping for like 3 hours or 4 hours, why am I going to pay $100 for a room? I can sleep in the car just fine at a truck stop, but it drives my mother nuts. So, Sonia, hey. K-Star, it's nice to see you. Val, like you can hear everything. Did you guys hear all that noise behind me? I'm sorry. Oh, gotta love my mother. I feel like I would get better sleep in my car. Peggy, it's nice to see you. The real me too. Sonia, our bionic woman is up and about. Look at that. Looky. I've been on the road. I haven't seen anybody. Mama, it's nice to see you. It was nice seeing you too. BJ Booth, West Virginia, hello girl. Okay, so we've got enough people in here, so I'm gonna start. I don't know where the mistake came from. I went back, I looked at the probable cause affidavit, but it is always so crucial to do the timeline runs, especially if you have a probable cause affidavit and you've got something, but the probable cause affidavit's wrong. Something in that probable cause affidavit is wrong, and I don't know what it is. But there is no possibility that Vinny could be passing the VFW at 5:40 and be going into the Sunoco at 5:41 for a pair of gloves. When I went there to the VFW, I was expecting the Sunoco to literally be like next door, like right next door, because it was only a minute away. And when I plugged in the VFW, which was, he was observed on the VFW at 5:40 according to the probable cause affidavit. It says 17:40. I confirmed it with Jules, you know, she's military. And I'm like, I've got to have something wrong here. And I was explaining it to her. I said, I did it. There's no way that, oh, you know what? The reason why you probably couldn't hear me, because I was covering the mic. And so I went over the Sunoco, but the Sunoco is 15 minutes away from the VFW. There's no way he could have been there at 5:41. So and I don't know, and it's not, you know, I can't sit there and figure out which one. I don't have the information, only law enforcement does. So they've got to have a timeline wrong. Now, it could make sense that they meant to say 4:41 or 4:40, but it's only 15 minutes away to the Sunoco from that VFW. And I also found out that there was a second way into their property, because I didn't want to go by their property to start the afternoon. I didn't need to. I've already been by the property. I got all the photos I needed. I just wanted to be at the Fairview road so I could start my journey from, you know, basically ground zero without having to go to their home. Like I said, I had already been there. I didn't need to go there, but I thought I took it off and was just going to proceed over to the VFW. And it took me the opposite way that I've been turning for all the other, like to go to Shade Mountain and stuff like that, where I was turning. I always turned, when I left their property, I always turned right. Well, for this particular day, it took me left. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe he went to Shade Mountain a different way. And I didn't realize, but it was my GPS recalculating. So it literally took me in a big circle and brought me back on the other side of their street and back down in front of the house. I didn't even know there was a way to go. But check this out. That's not the crazy part about it. The crazy part about it is there is so much greenery and shrubbery literally within the, she would have never been found. She would have never been found. He never even needed to go to Shade Mountain to get rid of her. If he would have just took the back way to his house, there were literally thousands of places to put her. It was that dense, where nobody would have found her. I don't even think dogs would have gotten to her. He could have just like flung her and she would have been hidden. And I'm looking at it. I think even in the video, I'm like, this guy's a dumbass. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And I think that was a situation, not that I want somebody to have a great dumping place, you know, or anything like that. That's not the point, but I'm just saying he really wasn't thinking well, because he had literally a smorgasbord of places to put her um, where even if they got a search party, they weren't getting to. And you wouldn't need to do anything but stand on top and drop. No, I'm not back home yet. I wish. No, Pennsylvania's more than a day trip for Bullhorn Betty. Okay, I'll do a day trip. A day trip to me is I'll push 16 hours. I'll push 16 hours in a day trip, and begrudgingly. But 14 hours is really, I like to be within 14 hours of Florida, my home. Not just Florida, my home. And so if I can get anywhere with 14 hours, then I'll do a day trip. But this was a day trip because I went to North Carolina, and then it was a day trip going from North Carolina to Pennsylvania. Well, it's a 2-day trip coming on home. It's about an 18-hour drive. And I was going to try to get a little further. I was hoping to make it to at least the tip of South Carolina today before I pulled over. But I ended up getting tired. Like I could have pushed it until probably about midnight, but I started getting tired, and I realized that I had woke up at like 5:30 this morning to get everything done because I knew I needed to get all the like the Sunoco and the VFW in before I met Jules and went back out there. I spent I gotta tell you this story, another story. So I go out there, and I find this place that has all these marks in it, drag marks. You could see something bottomed out there, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is it." And I couldn't find the photo, so I had no photo to compare with. So I'm like, "Ooh, this is it." And so I get out of the car, and I'm there, and I'm taking. Oh, I got some photos. I'll show you. I start taking photos. Hold on, let me put some back up. I don't want you guys seeing where I'm at. But I got some photos. So I'm sitting out here, right? I'm taking the I want to show you guys how deep the wells are, where he's stuck and everything. And then I go back to the actual photo that I had of the truck. And where is it? Hold on. Of the truck, and I've got it somewhere. Hold on, like here it is. Right? And I'm like, well, son of a gun. I couldn't find this stupid photo. Or maybe let me get this one. It's a little bit clearer. Oh, no, I guess not. I guess it's not clearer because it's too big. But, so I go back here, and then I see this weird tree, and I'm like looking through my footage, and I said, I think it's behind where I parked. Well, lo and behold, it wasn't behind where I parked. I was at the wrong location altogether. I don't know if they took ATVs back there or the forensic truck, and this is where they just happened to park it. Something very heavy bogged down in this spot, but that wasn't it. I did find, of course, with Jules' help, because without her, I don't think I would have found it. We were looking, she was driving. I was holding the phone up until I came across what looked like what it could be. I thought I had some on here. Did I not take this? Oh, I guess I didn't take pictures. So let me get this off here and just give you guys a different photo so you're not just you're not just looking at mud. So long story short is hey, I don't think I said finish saying hi to everybody. Long story short is I spent almost an hour out there taking pictures of dirt that didn't even have anything to do with the case. And if it does have anything to do with the case, it has to do with the forensic team going out there. Nothing more, nothing less. So the weirdest part about it was, it's like we're going out there. So we're driving down Shade Mountain, and we're going out there, and the dogs, or not the dogs, we only had one dog. It was Ara. I have to keep remembering that, because I always want to say Ara, and it's Ara. She started acting really peculiar when we started getting around that mud area. It was a little weird because she just got a little antsy. You could see, like, she was real calm and, just kind of, slobbering, and, she drools a little bit. I was making sure nothing hit the coffee, just, But she, go to doll face. You will see her because I've got content. I'll show you. Doll face, absolute doll face. Um, but she started. You could hear her move because she has her vest on and other stuff. So when she moves, you could hear her, and she wasn't really moving. Jules and I were kind of talking. We've talked to each other on the phone, but we've never seen each other. So we're just just chit chatting, and Ara's back there and just kind of chilling. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know if she was sitting up or laying down, but she was just chilled. And then when we start getting back to that one specific area, she starts getting a little more antsy. You start hearing her moving around in the back seat. And so I show her, and then we back up, and I'm like, wait a minute, it looks like it could be this one. I said, I didn't see this yesterday. I said, this right here. I said, this is interesting. And we look at it, and I'm like, nah, it doesn't seem like it goes back far enough. And so I finally pulled a photo up because I could. I had the photo this time when I went out there. And I'm looking at the trees, and I turn, and I'm checking it out. I'm like, no, this is not it. And I said, it looked like it was right back there, but I went back there, and there's no track marks. No track marks at all. It's grown grass. I mean, you can't fake grown grass like that. So we go up even further past that. So we had one track off to the side, and I know why I missed it because it was on the passenger side, and of course I was by myself yesterday, and I'm on the driver's side, and so I just missed it. And so we get to that other spot that I spent time at yesterday and realized that's absolutely not the spot. So we go up a little bit further, and I think it was about a 1/10 of a mile, give or take, from where that mud pile was. And sure as stuff, you see Ara getting a little more antsy, and we found the spot. So we go out there, and so she's picking up a faint track. You can tell that she's not confident in it, but something's going on there. And so when we're thinking about it, she kind of stayed in this, I don't know, like 3 or 4 meter, like 10, maybe by a 10 by 10 area back there where his truck got stuck. And so when we were thinking about it, we had to take into consideration that this happened on the 20th, that we've had a couple rains that have come into the area. So you've got, the scent is so degraded. I don't think she could pinpoint specifically, but you could tell that she hit, she was in an area. The crazy thing is it wasn't that far. It wasn't that far in. Like, you would have thought that he would have, and I know he couldn't, there was a spot where he pulled his truck back to, and you can see where he bogged down. It was like this hump, and I'll show you guys in the video when I can get the video out to you. But he didn't have to take her out of the vehicle and take her very far. But one thing I can't understand is, did he get stuck with her in there or without her in there? And I really do believe he took her to work. Because now that I'm putting the timeline together and I've gone and visited all the sites, there are several things that don't make sense. The first thing that doesn't make sense is the VFW and Sunoco time. There's no possibility at all for him to be at the VFW at 5:40. There has to be a typographical error on that probable cause affidavit. But again, I don't know which one's the typographical error. Is it the Sunoco time or is it the VFW time? But I've checked that date and time twice, and it specifically said on 6/20 at 6:40 he was observed passing the VFW with the box in the back of the Silverado. And then and they're in 2 different spots. So it's, the first one is the Sunoco. That's on the first page, and I think it's at the bottom if I recall correctly. I'm not 100%, so don't hold my feet to the fire, but I know that the VFW, the Sunoco information is on the first page of the probable cause affidavit. The VFW is listed on the second page of the probable cause affidavit as almost like a supporting information. Like, it was kind of out of place Like it wasn't in date and time order the way that the probable cause affidavit was written. So the VFW was on page 2, but if you look at it, it says 620 at 5:40. It says 1740. 1740, which is 1740, which is military time, and so that's 5:40. And so when I went and plugged in the Sunoco after the VFW, I realized that there is definitely an issue. So anyways, Lisa, it's nice to see you. Lisa be always. Dreaming blue skies and sandy beaches. JH, it's nice to see you. Niner Nana, hey, 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 hey. Our beautiful Pebbles is up in the house. Mama Bear, I was just typing, how do you like our beautiful green, and more green foliage here in Pennsylvania? I gotta tell you, Mama Bear, I guess, sorry guys, it hurts to hold out. I should have probably brought the tripod in, but I was actually, it's cute here. There was so many things that I had to stop and I forced myself to stop and take a picture of. And I don't have them downloaded. I've got so much to show you guys. I can't do it on the road because my internet's, it's driving me nuts. I've got to figure out this internet stuff. It's getting cheap. It's driving me nuts. I need internet. I need internet everywhere I go, not just some places, everywhere. So it's just been very trying out here. I forget, it's been so long since we've been on the road. I forget all the fun stuff I have to deal with being on the road and trying to be a content creator and trying to report. Sometimes it's really a pain in the butt. So this is just one of those things where no matter where I go, I just have crap service. But the beautifulness of the area was interesting. I guess I don't know what I expected for Pennsylvania. I guess I was expecting, I don't know, Philadelphia. I've never been to Philadelphia, so I don't even know what Philly looks like, but I figure it's a big city, it's got to have the big city vibe. I guess I just thought the whole place. So being out and seeing all this wide open greenery and land and mountains, and not only that, but golly, the gorgeousness of the mountains and all the lakes. I don't think I realized how many lakes you guys have here near them, at least where I was. It seemed like every time I turned around, I just have a gorgeous view. And even Jules and I were driving out, and I just looked over and like, look at that. Don't tell me that it's like this little town. It looks like this little farm town in the distance, but I think it's just a plantation, where they have several houses on the plantation for the farm workers and stuff like that. But I just look over and I'm like, tell me that doesn't look like a flipping Hallmark card. And she's like, yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm like, I'm telling you. It's gorgeous out here. It was, people were chill. I had zero problems with anybody. It was a great trip, and it does go to show you, as long as the nasty squad, these asshats on these 8 channels, as long as they ain't involved with nothing, everything just runs so smoothly. Got in here, I was able to leave a day early. Literally had no problems. I got in, got my work done, got the content I needed. I was even able, I wish I would have been able to stay a little bit longer, but when this case was breaking and she was missing, a lot of people, as you could imagine, jumped in and stepped up to the plate to help, including willing to take me out and everything like that. So when she was actually found, the people, they figured I guess they either figured I wasn't coming, or they just went ahead and they had to do other things because they were going to stop what they were doing to help this lady out that they didn't know or did know. Some people knew the family and stuff like that. But everybody jumped into gear. So those were the only things I had left to do. I was going to have a tour, a guy take me around and show me some places, but that didn't quite work out because she was found, and so he had to go back to work.
And then another gal reached out to me. I'm hoping to still meet with her and be more digitally. Um, but again, it was just crossed wires and stuff like that. So I didn't have any more time. I wasn't going to sit around twiddling my thumbs, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I missed Delilah something severe. When I start kissing a computer screen, it's time for me to come home and scoop my babe. But it was beautiful. There's not. That's the one thing I can. And again, I don't know what I expected in Pennsylvania. And it dawned on me, I have been here before. People ask me, have you ever been to Pennsylvania? I don't remember being here, but I was here because I came up here to cover the Brian Koberger case, and Marissa and I went out to where Brian Koberger's house was, and we went and covered another case, and I can't remember it, but it was the lady not too far from him. It's near Hershey. I know that. It wasn't, or within a couple hours of Hershey. And she unalived her parents and then unalived herself, or they all three. She talked them into this S-Pack. It was really weird stuff. But anyways, the whole family, and they were really religious too, so it was kind of hard to believe that she talked them into this, them being as religious as they were. But I think they were done. So it was a real weird case, and I actually think when I was covering it, it was so such a taboo topic for social media. I'm pretty sure that they took my monetization away for that particular video. I don't think I think that was they still played it. It's still on my list, but I think it was not suitable. And it was just a news story. I can't help what the case is. It is the truth, but it was. But anyways, what does it say? I saw the post on Facebook where Lisa retired. Oh, Lion Byington, yeah. I just keep wondering because that did not sound, I had my ear to the pulse long before this because I've been wondering to know who this lady was and connections and things like that. So I've been paying attention, and I heard that all of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, she's retired. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. She can go hang out with the other beached whales. Sorry, not sorry. If I offend you, be offended. I'm sorry. I'm surprised that when she was walking into that courtroom, that whole courtroom didn't just collapse. That's what she gets for lying Byington. And not only that, it was probably better for that police department because by the time everything is out where it needs to be, she's gonna have some I don't know what they're gonna do, but I think to be honest with you, I think it's a CYA move because that's, of all people, Lisa Byington, she was one of the detectives that did some of the high profile drug busts and everything else like that, like how many other affidavits has she doctored? I'm just asking. It's a legitimate question because I know for a fact two times one time verbally she stood before a judge and lied through her teeth to a judge, which they don't care there because they were all in on it anyways. They didn't really give a rat's ass. They wanted it on the record for the paper trail, which was all hogwash. And then she absolutely 100% lied on an affidavit, saying I was in Tennessee when I was clearly in Florida. So how many more times did she do that to other people's affidavits? There's some problems here. There's some significant problems here. She's been there for, I think they said she was there for 25 or 35 years. So I had a funny feeling that this was going to be the crap they pulled. If anybody's going to do this kind of nonsense, it's going to be one that if things go south, can easily retire and be just fine. I'm just saying, I don't trust them. From where I'm standing, the only criminals there are some of the law enforcement officers. Just saying. Just saying. My ancestors settled in Pennsylvania. There is a home built out of stone. Oh, It had some. I gotta say, the architecture, and you know what? I think one of the weird things for me. Okay, I gotta tell you this. Okay, I don't know where you guys are from, and I don't know if it's all over Pennsylvania or not. But I was driving down a road. Now, mind you, these houses are like, you have one-way roads. There's no way that these roads are getting any wider unless they start tearing down houses like that. That it must be an old community that was here, you know, when they didn't have future planning in mind. And so we have all these houses that have no driveways, and so they have to park out in the road, which, you know, for a Florida girl, that kind of sucks for you guys, okay? But I mean, I see the dynamic. I see what happened. A lot of these houses, like Pennsylvania, is a very old state. I mean, some of these houses probably date back to, I don't know, 1800s, 1700 possibly. I don't know, but I know for a fact Pennsylvania is an old place, right? So, but I saw a sign that said no parking on the street from, I want to say 8 to 4. And I'm like, 8 to 4. Can you imagine buying a house? Because you got to have a house, you got to have a car, right? Buying a house, having a car, have no driveway, have to park in front of your house on the road, and then have to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning to move the car somewhere else from 8 to 4. Like, I have to think that sucks a little bit, just me personally. But I mean, I guess that's, what you guys are used to. I also noticed that these are just things that I notice. Okay. Not that they're good, bad, or indifferent, but, another thing I noticed is you guys have a lot of private roads here. We don't have private roads in Florida. Like, we have our counties and cities man our roads. So that's interesting. I noticed there's a lot of private roads in PA. So I have to be very, very, like, I made sure no matter what road I went down, I'm checking to see if it says private road or private property or anything. I don't want to have any problems. So I made sure I covered all my bases. But so that's one thing that was interesting. And the turn lanes, like, in the passing lanes, if you guys have like one road, one thing I can say that I really like, everybody's courteous. Everybody drives the way I was taught to drive. So in Pennsylvania, when you're driving on a 2-lane highway, you use the left lane to pass. When you're done passing, you move back to the right-hand lane. When people are, trust me, it doesn't happen everywhere, so you guys are lucky. Okay, we used to be like that in Florida, but now we have all, everybody from all over, and people just don't care, right? The other thing is just little things I noticed, like the ramps. Like, when you get up to the ramp, again, this is the way I was taught to drive. When you see cars entering on the ramp onto the freeway or the interstate or the road you're doing, it's just like this orchestra of people. They just start moving on over. It's just a beautiful thing. And traffic just flows. You don't have people slamming on brakes. You don't have people getting jammed up on the freaking ramp. It's just, so I have to say, I, again, didn't know what I was going to expect when I got to Pennsylvania, but my experience in Pennsylvania, I have to say, was an A. The area that I was, even though I was covering a horrible case, the place was beautiful. I see what people, especially in that part, love about PA. And I had internet in places I didn't think I'd have internet. Who knew? I wonder if he was lying about getting stuck and just, no, we got photos of him being stuck. I saw where he was stuck. I wish I had a, do I have my camera in here? I wonder if I can show you. I don't think that it's not going to be on, you guys can see. But I think it's on this phone here. I don't think I took any stills when we finally found it. No, he got stuck. Yeah, I'll make sure that I drop a video. That'll go again. It wasn't as messy as this stuff here, like a big bog. And it's not this messy or anything like that, but when you see it, you'll understand what I'm saying when I say a big bog. He bogged down. So I did find that. She's been saving. My mind was blank. There was nothing there. There was zero. Just a big old nothing. It just until I turned on my hotspot, and then one lone hotspot popped up. I'm from PA. Have street parking also. There's a lot of houses by me that have the same type of situation also, but I agree with you, Bet. Yeah, Pennsylvania is a beautiful place, yeah. Well, sometimes you, yeah, Pennsylvania is a beautiful place, yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta treat those things like, those houses, I mean, they can't rebuild. I mean, because one thing I learned about my old house is that the wood that they use now is much different than the wood they once used. The wood that they once used, a lot of wood came from what was known as date pine, and it's so petrified and so hard. Termites won't eat it, just won't eat it because it's too hard for them. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my hand. I gotta remember to keep my hand away from the mic. What goes clippity clop, bang bang, clippity clop, clippity clop. An Amish driveway. Oh my gosh, I actually saw a man plowing his field with an old little seated thingy and a horse. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I went by an auction and I saw, this is the weirdest thing, I saw regular people and Amish people all hanging out and talking. I saw a lot. I don't know what else to say. I experienced a lot. He said Casey was covering was horrible, but PA was beautiful. Yeah, that's it. It's a horrible case, but I gotta say, it was remarkable. There was, it's crazy because like even that scenic view on Shade Mountain, I ended up backing the car up and doing, because usually when I'm out I don't do anything like that. I don't stop and take a view, and it was just a beautiful scene. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably never going to be back up here. You better stop this car at the schizophrenic. I just, you have to, I do have a board of directors. Am I buffering? Sorry, I know. Let me see. I'm low. I gotta go. It's dead. It's getting dead. So that's what it is. You can hear the words. Okay. Well, I left guys at a bar left, and I've got 20%. So my juice just faded.